Yeah, thank you, everyone. This is Skeptics and Atheist Society of Kenya. Today we are having Bible study, and the topic is about the faith. So, but before we continue, I want us to define the word faith. What do you think the faith means before we continue to some topics? Yes, Morioki?
Thanks. For me, I say it's you believe in something, even if you have no proof it's going to happen. In fact, for me personally, I don't believe in faith. It's not real, but it's believing in something without proof that it will happen. You just believe something will happen in your mind, not in reality. Thanks.
That is fine. According to Morioki, is believing something without evidence, or Morioki?
Yes, and yeah, without evidence, yeah. And to me, it's not real. It's not a good thing. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Can you believe something by faith which is real?
No, if it's real, it's not faith then. If it's real, that's something else now. Faith is something that you just believe. You just believe like that. It's all in the mind.
I'm saying this because, for example, maybe there is unicorn.
Yeah.
So somebody believes there is unicorn by faith. When the unicorn is real, let's assume unicorn is real. Is it possible to believe something by faith, but that something is still is real? It's only that you don't know whether it's real, or maybe you think it's real, but you don't have evidence whether it's real or not.
I think faith relies on unrealistic things, in my view. Faith means something that's yeah.
So according to you, faith cannot rely on something that is realistic.
Yeah, my view. Yeah, my view. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
fine.
Let's
hear from Dorocas.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Dorocas?
Okay. Faith. Let me see if I can turn on my video. Yeah. Okay. There I am. Now, faith has different definitions, and it's very important for us to consider the context in which we are talking about faith in order to apply the right definition. So, in a religious context, faith, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, this is not according to me, Dr. Soita, no, or according to, I don't know, common usage, blah, 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 no, it's according to the Cambridge Dictionary. Faith in the religious context is a strong belief in God or religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. So in that definition, there's the aspect of a God, religion, or even the supernatural, a deity. Okay, you have to believe in that. And it is minus the presence of proof. Instead of proof, there's no proof, because if there's proof, then there's no need for faith. So there's no proof, but you just have this strong spiritual conviction. That is the basis of religious faith, or faith as defined in the religious context. Another definition of faith, still arguably within that context, is faith is a certain religion. For instance, when you say, we welcome people of all faiths. We welcome people of all faiths. It means that you accept Muslims, Christians, Hindus, etc. People who hold those different religious beliefs. So sometimes faith can be used as a synonym for religious beliefs. And then finally, there's the other understanding of faith, which is, and that one is in daily use, in non-religious setups. It is great trust or confidence in something or someone. For example, in a sentence, politicians have to restore our faith in the Constitution. Or, I have faith that SAS-K members will attend. I have faith that more SAS-K members will attend the next hangout, because in the previous hangout, we had fewer attendees. The outdoor hangout, we just had 4 attendees. I have faith that we will have more members joining the hangout. So in that context, it's just talking about trust or confidence in something. So even to answer the question ex-Pastor Stano was asking Morioki, can you have faith in something that is real? Absolutely. In that final definition that I've used, you can have faith in real things. Members are real things. The Constitution is a real thing. It's a real document capturing the political or governance values of a nation. Or I have faith in your ability to finish your homework. Okay, so you're having faith in this. Maybe it's your child. You're telling the child, I have faith in you. Okay, that is a real person. So it is possible, Stano, to have faith in someone. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. You have elaborated everything about the categories of faith. Let's hear from David.
Thanks, Stano. Because Dorcas has gone into those other parts of faith, let me just mention the religious, well, because we all are once Christians. Let me mention, I actually don't know anything about the faith in, in the Muslim faith. Let me mention faith in the book, the famous faith definition in the book of Hebrews. Faith is defined as assurance of things hoped for. Hope, things you hope. Una bado, you don't have them yet. Hoped for. And the confidence or conviction of things not seen. If it is not seen, we are talking blind. So, if it is not seen, blind. You're just hoping for it blindly. So that is what faith it is. And with that, let me go in and say, nobody has a faith in the existence of Mount Everest. I've never seen Mount Everest, and maybe I'll never see it. But guess what? I don't have faith in Mount Everest. I know it exists. Mount Kenya, I know she exists because she's right there in Kenya. Mount Kenya is as real as possible. Mount Kilimanjaro I have seen, so it is not a matter of faith. But even before I saw it, I knew that it was there. Those are not the things that you put by faith. You know it is there. It's not blind. It is there. If you went there, you would see it. Okay, it's not a hope. It is something that if you went there, you would see it. Now, that definition, if it doesn't tell you about what faith is and the blindness of faith, then I do not know what it tells you. And now I can just summarize that faith, you use a faith when you have got no proof. That is, you have no proof of something, and you go by faith. Thank you.
Yeah, that is great. So I heard some people saying there is a blind faith and there is a real faith. What can you say about that? Before we come to the necessity of faith. Yeah, Murioki.
Yeah, thanks. For me, I want to understand how you can have faith for something real. Then I'm lost there completely. How you can, like Never is saying, Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, that's real. But having faith for something that's not real, I mean, no, for something real, sorry, I don't get it. If it's real, it's real. You can have faith in Mount Kenya and it's there. Thanks.
Anyone to respond to Murioki?
Morioki, yes. Morioki,
Yes. Yeah.
what
Yeah.
about that first definition that I gave, where faith is understood as great trust or confidence in someone or something, such that when you say, I have faith, so substitute the word faith for great trust or confidence, okay? If you want to understand it better. But in an example in a sentence is, I have faith that more SAS-K members will attend the next hangout. Isn't SAS-K members, aren't they real? Yeah, it's just that you're not completely sure whether they will come or not to the next hangout, whether a large number will come. So that's why you use the word faith. Do you now see it?
But,
it's unrealistic then. It's unrealistic because you don't know if they'll come or not. You have no control over of them coming or not. It's beyond your control.
But what about in this area? Dorcas, for example,
yes.
I don't know whether I will get a job tomorrow. For example, maybe I'm a casual labor. I'm looking for Kimbarua tomorrow. So I don't know. So will I say I trust, I believe, or I have faith tomorrow I will get somewhere to earn my daily bread?
You can use the word believe there. If
what
you're
about
referring
faith?
to if you're referring to, okay, because that definition says great trust or confidence in something or someone. Okay, yes, you can use the word faith if what you mean is that you have confidence in the job market. Maybe you analyzed the demand for your service or the kind of work that you do, and now you have faith in it.
Okay, that means faith. Faith is strong of the word hope.
Yeah, it's a synonym. Yes, it's a synonym for hope.
But the strongest hope.
But stronger. Yes,
because
because
there is a better confidence.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, that's a better way of putting it or understanding it. It's a level above hope. Hope is just there, while faith, you have complete or great confidence or trust in that thing or that person. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, Murioki, then David?
Yeah, so is this to say that both of them are unreal? Yeah, this faith and hope, they exist only in the human mind. They're not real. Is that fair? Thanks.
But before that, Murioki, can you do something when you have no hope of it? For example, can you plant maize? Can you plant in your garden something when you don't have hope?
That hope it's irrelevant, Esther. No, I'll do the work. It's really whether I have hope or not. I'll put in the work and wait for the results. Hope is relevant, and faith, do the job and wait for results.
Okay, fine. For me and maybe others is different, because we hope when we are doing something, we already hope that something will work out. That is why we proceed to do whatever we want to do. For example, me as an engineer, for me as an engineer, when you bring your computer to me for me to repair it, I first of all have hope I will be able to fix it. Then I start measuring it. So if I have no hope, I will be able to fix it. I don't know whether I can be able to proceed to fix it. Maybe I will tell you, go and look for someone else. So let's hear from David.
Thanks, Stano. The semantics here, let us say, okay, belief is accepting something as true based on evidence, experience, or tradition. In a belief, if you believe you can fix that computer, it is because you are basing it on something on the past that, I fixed something that had data issues. So I can also do this one because it is also data. Hope, now this one is it's the most, I think it's the clearest, because hope is optimism in expectation for a specific future outcome. I plant my corn because in the past I used to plant corn na mimi nakula kila wakati nachoma mahindi. So I have hope because I have got a past experience. It's almost a little bit like a belief, but my future outcome is of harvesting a crop, maize. Faith is just without concrete proof. That's it. That's just something you are hoping. You have got this faith, and maybe you're not even doing anything about it to influence the future outcome. You just have that faith. Yeah, but you don't even have anything to tell you that you should be having faith in this situation. It is, I'm going to just say this. It's just lazy. You're just there hoping lazily that an outcome will come, and you're not even doing anything about it. You have even no hope that it will happen. But if you had faith and then you went and do something, it becomes hope. It changes completely if you are going to do something about it. Thank you.
Yeah, that is good. So I think now I want us to go because it's somehow Bible study. I was just to read little from the book of Hebrew, from the Bible, the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, from verse 1. Chapter 11, from verse 1. I read NIV version. Verse 1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Verse 2. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offering, and by faith, Abel still speaks even though he is dead. So through faith, they believe Abel today is speaking, even if he's dead. Verse 5, by faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. Verse 6, the last one. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists. You must believe God exists, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. So for you to be rewarded by God, you must first of all assume or believe he exists so that he can be able to reward you. So I want us to focus with the verse 1, where I say, faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. What can we say about these excuses from the book of Hebrew? Or how can the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, verse 1, is able to shut down the Christians about thinking about what is true, or from seeking for the evidence? Yes, Morioki? I want to analyze about this chapter 11 from verse 1.
Yeah, I think I just explained the part of Abel. Abel is still talking. I didn't get that. Abel still talks even when he's dead. Just clarify that for me, please.
Yeah,
I missed
verse
something
4. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 4. By faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead.
So now, so
I don't know, because that is the end of that verse.
okay, so
I think it passed part C.
see that
Yeah.
can happen, eh? That can happen unless you have faith.
I'm asking,
yeah.
What the impact of this Hebrew chapter 11 to Christian? Or how does this chapter prevent Christian from seeking for the truth or for the fact, or from for seeking the evidence to back up the Bible to know whether God exists or does not exist? How does this chapter prevent them? Dorcas?
Okay. You said that according to Hebrew 11:1, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. In other translations, it is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So, according to that classic text on how Christians understand faith, faith excludes evidence. The evidence of things not seen. If something has not been seen, if something has not been observed, it cannot be considered evidence. So it's like calling something water when it does not have water. So when you say evidence of things not seen, that's an oxymoron, you see? Huh? Evidence of things not seen. If it's not seen, then it's not evidence. It's just oxymoronic. Another case of how the Bible contorts itself to spew gibberish. But what I can deduce from it, by and large, is that faith in that context is exclusive of evidence. It does not include evidence. It just needs you to have assurance, yeah, of the things that you hope for. Okay, and that is problematic to me. Why would God, and in fact later in that chapter it says that without faith it is impossible to please God. Why would God require faith in order to be pleased, in order for you to be a proper Christian? Why? Faith is the path of gullibility. If I wanted people to believe in me, to follow me as a God, to worship me for proper reasons, I would give them evidence. I would give them evidence such that there's no need for apologetics. There's no need for guesswork, excuses, and logical contortions in order for people to defend me. I would just present the evidence such that there's absolutely no need for faith. As Ndeve said, I don't need to have faith in Mount Everest because there's evidence of its existence. When there's no evidence for something, then it leaves room for you to believe in anything. Faith allows you to believe in anything, no matter how fallacious, how false it is, or how unproven it is. And in fact, this brings me to why many people use this argument of faith. When I'm debating Christians, sometimes you might find that they start with logical arguments for their God, for existence of their God. When I tell them, don't believe in a God, then I tell them, if you want me to believe in your God, please give me reasons why I should. Then they start using some version of the teleological argument, the argument from design. You know, they might not call it that, but you know, they can say, look at the trees, look at the mountains, look at how beautiful they are. Look at how complex you are as a human being. You can think. Are you trying to tell me that you just came out of random chance? You know, they can give me such a reason. They can give me the cosmological argument. They might not call it the cosmological argument, but they will discuss it in such a way that I can identify this is the cosmological argument, because they are talking about the first cause, the fact that everything that begins to exist has a first cause. But then I debunk all those common arguments. I debunk the teleological one. I debunk the cosmological one. I debunk the one for morality. After debunking, what do they run to? Faith. They say, you just have to believe. You just have to have faith, because without faith, it's impossible to please God. It's the assurance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. You just have to, you know, it's a thought terminating cliche, and it is the way of irrationality, to be honest. So that's what I would respond to Hebrew 11:1. Thank you.
That is very good explanation. Let's now hear from Deve. And
Thanks.
for that, about the evidence, I think we shall look at the Romans chapter 1, verse 20, where it says, for since the creation of the one, God is invisible quality, his internal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood for what has been made, so that people are without excuse. Romans chapter 1, verse 20. The thing that we see is a clear evidence they were created by invisible. Yeah, let's hear from David before we come to that about the Romans chapter 1, verse 20, because it's also rely somehow on faith.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Stan. Now, when I look at this Hebrews, and this is the part where I find the mess, right, starts. Verse 6, but without faith, it is impossible to please God. Okay? So, this encourages us to please God whom we have never seen, but we are told that the mountains are proof of God. So when we ask, so where is God? We say, oh, look at how wonderful this tree is. Look at how wonderfully you are created. That is proof of God. But God itself or himself or herself, we are never to see. We can only see the proof. Or I could just say the, the breath of God passing by. That was God passing by. But you never saw the God itself. You just saw the tree. That is the proof of God. But the God itself, you are not going to see. But if you question or you want to see that God, then you can't please the same God. Hey, well, I don't know, but that is probably that's probably the mystery. If somebody can tell us that, yeah, that is where faith comes in. That do not question, just have faith, and you will please God. Thank you.
It's a mystery. So let's hear from Eston and Maestro.
Yes, I hope all of you are doing great. Sorry, I came in late. I was still dealing with work, but on this matter of faith, actually, I'll add on what Dorcas has just said. I've encountered this situation several times where after you've already debunked this very shallow arguments that Christians bring out. I don't know, these cosmological arguments, this I don't know what. After you debunk them, they tell you kila mtu amini chenye unataka. Just believe what you want to believe. But then there's another who also they rarely bring out this verse of without faith it's impossible to please God. They rarely bring it up. So I've also brought this verse up several times, asking them, so if the Bible says without faith is impossible to please God, so someone who is a Hindu, a Muslim, an atheist, even if he lives the very disciplined life and a life that without, okay, everyone sins, but he just lives peacefully with other people without bothering others. But just because he has no faith in this God of yours, he's going to burn in hell. I've asked several of them this question, but they can't answer. But those ones who are delusional enough, they say, of course, they'll go to hell, of course. But and the ones who tell me no, they not go to hell. But then what is the use of having faith in the first place? So Christians actually they struggle a lot with this verse. They struggle articulating this verse because now or ask them. So before this ancestors, I mean before the Europeans introduced us to Christianity, our ancestors were not worshiping this God. They never have had faith in this God. So they are already gone to right now they are burning in hell because they did not have faith in this God of yours. So it's a verse maybe they bring it up maybe when they are among themselves, but when they are in arguments, like this, and you know how you can counter it. They rarely used it. Yeah, so for me, it does not make sense how a God requires faith to requires faith to be pleased. It's just nonsense, and maybe it's a trait that should I call it a narcissistic God? Because if without me having faith in you, you'll destroy me, or you'll burn me in hell. It's funny how people still believe in these things. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add onto that.
That is good. Let's hear from Jimmy.
Hi guys. Hello.
Hi.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. I've not logged into these meetings, but it's good to be back. Now, there's something I wanted to say about faith. It's when you think about faith, it is a very crazy idea because the people who tell us that we need faith and all this, they themselves, they never had faith. Because when you think about it, these faith preachers, the original ones, let's say like the likes of Moses and all those prophets, maybe the disciples even. Those people, when you think about it, they never had faith because, assuming the stories they tell us are true, let's say for example Moses, he used to speak with God. So for him, it was not faith. He already had the evidence. But for us, because we have not seen him, we don't need we don't we are not even having faith in God. We are having faith in Moses, first of all, that he is saying the truth. So we having to believe him. And now when you come to think about it, we are having to believe someone that we do not know who lived a long time ago. For him, it wasn't faith. When we think about people like there's this other crazy guy who fought with God himself, Jacob, and others, Akina Paul, they had this Damascus moment. If I had my own Damascus moment, I think I would also convert, but it will not mean I have faith. I will have already the evidence. For them, it was not about faith. They had the evidence. So it is very unfair for them and for that supposed God to show evidence to a few. But for us, we have to have faith from, I mean, it's just very unfair. They should also be subjected to the same non-evidence as us. Let them also demonstrate faith without having seen this God. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that is good. So if you get evidence, you will definitely believe. No one will reject to believe something that is already evidence-based. For example,
Yeah,
even
actually,
today,
if you have evidence, you're not believing. Right now, if I say there's a cat in this house that I am in, it is not faith. I know there's a cat. It is, I don't know, maybe you can call it knowledge. It is no longer faith because I have the cat here. I can see it. For you guys, because you cannot see it, you need to have faith that there's a cat here. But for me, it is no longer faith because I can see it right now. So for them, they never also had faith. They just want us to have things that themselves they don't possess.
So what on that case, what if I say I have 10,000 Kenya shillings in my bank, and you don't have the evidence whether I have, will you believe by faith or what?
I will have to believe you based on, I mean, are you, if I know you well, I can say, because I know Weston is a truthful person, is a truthful man, I can choose to believe, yes, you have it. But for you, it is not faith that you have the money. You know you have it, or you know you're lying, you don't have it.
Yeah, that is good. So, Ndebe?
Let's raise the stakes here. So you tell Jimmy that you have 10,000 shillings zenye utampatia kesho, akupatie saa yake ama akupatie something, na wewe uko na 10,000 shillings in your bank, utampatia kesho. So what does he have to go by? Hope?
Yeah,
I think in that scenario is hope.
Yeah, and another thing about your 10K, at least for 10,000, it is very easy for you to have 10K. It's not like an outrageous claim. But if you told me you have 100 million shillings in cash at your home, now that one I need evidence. For the other one, I can take it. Okay, it's something doable. It is possible. But if you say you have 100 million, now that one you need to show a bit of more evidence.
Or a
No, I think
dinosaur. You have a dinosaur
Yeah,
kwa nyumba yako, or a unicorn in your house.
yeah, because the religious claims that want us to have this faith, they have very outrageous, you know, it's just very crazy ideas, extremely outrageous. For them, they really need to show us that evidence. But for 10K, I mean, it's not a big deal. Yes, you can have even more than that.
Okay, that is fine. But what if we look with this perspective of David by saying, for example, if I tell you I will give you 100 shillings tomorrow, will you believe it, or will you have hope or faith? I will give you 100 shillings tomorrow. Yes, David. Then Morioki.
If it is a stranger, if it's a stranger I meet on the road and they tell me, nipe hizi ndizi zako, I will give you money tomorrow. This is a stranger. I'm just going by hope, purely because I'm a seller, and maybe sometime I have experienced that sometimes mtu anakuja anakula ndizi zangu, anaenda na kesho mwenye the people anakuja ananilipa, they come, they pay me. That is what I would be going by. But if somebody tells me, and we ask all the time, somebody gives you an outrageous claim, and we say that, I don't believe that. Show me outrageous claim. They have to have real proof. I have got a dinosaur egg in my house. What will everybody ask me? Show us. Why is it that when it comes to this outrageous claim of a personal relationship with God, and we must not ask, otherwise we won't please the same God? That's a bit weird. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. If there is any religious person can raise their hand, because we also want to hear from a different perspective. Now it's Morioki, then Billy.
Thanks, Sando. According to your question of the money, what if I say there's no faith, no hope? I'll just wait for the moment to see if it's real or not. I don't care about faith or hope. I'll wait for the time to reach, and I see if he has the money. How is that? No faith, no hope.
So that is also fine. But I think I don't know whether I can be able to wait for something without the hope. So even if I have other option, because maybe I don't have 100% trust on you will give me that money. So I end up to look for other option, but still I will have hope I will get from you, even if it's 50% hope. Yeah. Billy?
Hello. So I think I'll start by noting that I think that faith, when you use that faith, it usually has a religious connotation in that it's not comparable to other beliefs or like other promises. So, for instance, if you tell me that you'll give me at around shillings tomorrow, whether it's or even if you tell me that you will give me 1,000,000 shillings tomorrow, and then I believe that you'll give it to me, I don't think that counts as faith, since it's not the same thing as what how people use that faith. So when you say like you should have faith in God, when someone tells you you should have faith in God, it's not God who's telling you that you should have faith in Him. Someone is telling you to believe that someone else will do something for you. So it's not comparable. Like in this case, you're the one who told me directly that we will do something for me. But in this other case, someone else is asking you to believe in something else that's not even human, because it's a supernatural deity. That thing will do something for you. I don't know how many, but my point is, when you use that faith, we're not using it in the same way as believing. They used contemporarily, like, or in ordinary conversation. We're not using it as a replacement for just belief. We're using it for a specific kind of belief, which is usually aligned with a deity. So I feel like if God is not in the equation, then it does not count as faith. So even if you tell me that you have a dragon in your house, and I believe you, I wouldn't say that I have faith in you having a dragon in the house, but I will say they will say that we have faith that Christians will say that they have faith in God, that God will do something for them. So you come, I don't know if I've posed my point clearly, but that's here for you. Done.
That is good. So I think now let's concentrate now about the religious faith. Is religious faith a reliable path to the truth? Can we use religious faith to verify something is true? And in this case, we will also ask, how can we be able to determine whether something is true? Which path can we use to determine something is true? As we answer whether a faith is a reliable path to determine something whether it's true or whether something is fact. Yeah, let's hear from Billy again.
I don't think that you can use faith to determine if something is true, because faith is the claim. Like the faith, when you say that I have faith in that God created the earth, that's the claim. That's what the proof. The proof comes. The proof is separate from the claim. So if I say this drug cures cancer, that's not the truth. That's not the path to the truth. The evidence will come in later when we're trying to prove that this thing cures this disease that we're talking about. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, that is nice. Let's hear from David.
Thanks, Stano. Much appreciated. Faith. The problem that I have with faith, particularly religious faith, is that I am required to go by faith only when it comes to God, to the existence of God. But everything else is physical, like myself. I'm physical, and I am not expected to expect a God that I can see. Well, at least the Greeks had gods that they could see. They were gods of thunder and gods of sun, or gods of whatever they had, gods that they could see. But with faith, I have not to want to see. It is not physical. It is something that I cannot see. It is not like me, while it is also like me. That is where the problem comes. And I draw the conclusion that faith, it's not an admirable character to have. Just let us stay with hope, because we can influence the results of our hope. Thank you.
Yeah, that is nice. So the faith is not a reliable path to the truth. In fact, faith, I think, is just believing something without even finding out whether there is evidence or there is no evidence, because you don't care about whether there is evidence or not. So let's hear from Jimmy.
Yeah, so religious faith is the most unreliable. It is extremely unreliable. You know. Okay, what was the question? How did you frame the question again? Hello?
Yeah, now you are audible.
Yes, just kindly repeat the question so I can frame it exactly the way you asked.
Okay. Is religious faith a reliable path to the truth? Or can you use religious faith to determine a fact, or whether something exists, or whether something is real?
Obviously, we cannot, because even in the biblical teaching, like if you pray, they say that the answer can be yes, the answer can be no, and the answer can be, I think, wait. So basically, it's just saying that whatever you pray for, whatever you have faith in, it's like flipping a coin. It can be answered, whether it is something that is very urgent, God can just decide no, yes, or wait. So it is extremely unreliable. Just think of, let's say, if you go to a shop and you want to buy a switch, and the guy who is selling the electricals tells you that this switch, sometimes it can work, sometimes it cannot. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not. I think you should buy it and you realize sometimes this switch, it lights up the bulb, and sometimes it does not. I think what you need to do is change it immediately because it is faulty. So when it comes to religion, I think people should also be switching religions every time that you pray for something and it doesn't work. The same way you will change your switch, you should also change your faith, and at least try some other god and see if maybe that one is answering prayers better. So yes, religion. No, I mean religion is definitely not reliable. Religious faith. Yeah.
Yeah, that is fine. So we are using religious faith because we have found there are other things that we can also call them as faith. For example, having faith, my partner will do this and this. Having faith, I will get a job, will go 1, 2, 3, such and that. So let's hear from Dorcas.
Okay. Hey, I'm multitasking over here. I have airlock in my house and they're trying to bring me water, lakini mashida, third world countries problems. Anyway, okay, is faith a reliable path to truth? Hell to the no. You have to have faith to believe that, and that is the way of falsehood. Faith is not a reliable pathway to truth because, as we said earlier, the faith automatically excludes evidence. So, faith can be used to justify anything. I can tell you right now that I have a tail. Yeah, that I have a tail, I just hide it in my clothes. And you can use faith to believe that. It's an outrageous claim, but you can use faith to believe it. Now, we're talking about religious faith because there's a non-religious faith, there's a colloquial faith. So in religious faith, I can come with Hindu claims. I can say that reincarnation, I believe the Hindus believe in reincarnation. Or is it the Buddhists? Well, both of them believe in reincarnation. But let me go with the Buddhists because that one I'm sure. The Buddhists claim that there's reincarnation. Then the Muslims claim that Muhammad flew on a horse to the sky, right? And that's a claim, that's a religious claim, which believers believe on faith. And in fact, I remember Richard Dawkins was having a debate, rather an interview with Mehdi Hassan, who is an Al Jazeera journalist and a very reputable one. But when he made that assertion that he believes in all the claims in the Quran, the supernatural claims, including the one about Muhammad flying, is it Muhammad or an angel or something? There was a being that flew on a horse.
Is Muhammad flying using a creature? It's not mentioned with a donkey or a horse or a camel, but he was flying to the moon. It's Muhammad using that animal.
Thank you for that clarification. So that's a very outrageous, fantastical claim that Muhammad flew on a creature to the moon. And Mehdi Hassan claimed that he believes it. In fact, after that, very many followers of Al Jazeera lost respect for Mehdi Hassan because they really didn't know how outrageous some of the claims in the Quran are. Then in the Bible, of course, we have the virgin birth, we have Jesus' resurrection, all that. And people believe it based on faith. None of them have brought evidence or proof for these claims. As Jim was saying, then these guys should be interchanging the faiths. They should be believing in any supernatural claim made in any religion brought forward, but they don't. They say that ours is the truth. The Christians believe that they are the true ones, while all the others are wrong. So I think it is not a reliable pathway to truth if it can lead to falsehoods at any one time. Imagine if we all said that faith, that we can use faith to, guys, I have to stop there because I need to fetch water. Sorry, I'll come back.
Yeah, that is true. That is good comparison with the Islamic. And what I can say, faith is the one that can be used to justify everything in the earth or in the universe. So I can just justify, I can just confirm yesterday I was in the planet Mars through faith. And I ask you to just believe I was in planet Mars through faith. So just the way even Christian, when you ask them, do you believe Jesus raised from the dead or raised the dead? They say, I believe in miracle. So then I believe by faith he raised from the dead because I believe miracle can happen. So they just believe by faith that miracle can happen. So they end up saying, therefore, something that is being claimed from the scripture happened. The same case with all the other religion and the tradition, Africa tradition. So that means faith is not the reliable path to the truth because it can justify anything. So it will just tell you this thing is true, and the opposite of that will also be true based on faith. So now I want us to the last question because the time is running very fast. Do atheists exercise faith like believers? Our last some topic. Do atheists or do agnostic, skeptic, those non-believer, do they exercise faith, the faith that is the same as that of the believer? We are talking, we are comparing with the faith of the believer because we have found the other thing, maybe there is other terms that we can also define them as faith. For example, having faith, tomorrow I will get a job, or tomorrow I will be able to do something. That is why we are using the faith that is being used by the believers. Do atheists or an unbeliever have the same faith with that of an unbeliever? Let's hear from David.
Asante Stano. For starters, the religious faith is the kind of faith that if you told me that you have got a dinosaur egg in your house, I would say yes. That is that faith. Do atheists have, or non-believers have that kind of faith? No. Everybody, almost everybody is going to tell you, show me, can I see that egg? Definitely, because it is an outrageous, completely outrageous claim. Everybody will ask you, but when it comes to God, we do not ask, show me, where is God? Show me proof of that God. Then you are like, if you have no faith, you can't please God. Or it's like you are telling me, well, if you can't believe in my dinosaur egg, you will die. You can't live. Is it that kind of thing? So it comes, not believing in your dinosaur egg, you threaten me because I don't believe in your outrageous claim. So I think most non-believers, atheists, and particularly skeptics, they don't have that kind of faith. Now, we have a lot of hope. There are many people who will invest in a let's say in a development in Nairobi. They put their money in a development. What is their hope? They hope that that investment will bear some will make them some money. And why? What is their hope based on? It is based on the past, and it is based on the good product that they are going to produce for buyers. So they are going to be working very hard so that their hope can bear results. They are not just going to sit back and say, oh, I have got $10 million shillings, and I'm going to sit down here and hope that the houses will build themselves, and then I will rent them after the houses built themselves. No, you are going to go there. You will be there from the survey all the way to foundation, all the way to laying the walls, and all the way to doing the furniture and whatever it is that you're going to do. You are going to be working on it. It is not just a matter of faith, sitting back. You are going to be working day and night because you know that there is no way anything will come out of it if you don't work on it. It's not faith. Faith, on the other hand, you just sit back and let the chips fall let God have the chips where they will be. It is all God, not you. But for hope, it is us that work on it. I thank you.
Yes, that is well elaborated. So I think we can also answer about what the controversial argument you may find from the believers who say religious, they need faith to believe about the things, about the encounters or whatever the text say, but they end by saying non-believer or atheist, they have more faith than religious. For believing there is no God, it requires more faith than believing there is. So I always hear such kind of response. So if you find it okay to answer, also to emphasize on that, you can just mention it. Let's hear from Ryoki.
I think even I think it's Christians. I don't know who said it. Faith without works is nothing. Faith without works is nothing. Meaning, you just have to work, practice, and wait for results. For me, faith and hope can't match work and practice. Do the job, with practice, wait for the results. This faith and hope add no value to in my view. Thanks.
Yeah, and that's nice, although it depends with the kind of denomination, because different denominations have different interpretation of that faith without work is dead. Because some denominations believe what the James say. If you just say have faith to somebody who is hungry and you don't feed that person, that is useless. Faith without action is useless. But the other claim that whatever you believe, you must show it with work. For example, if you believe in God, you must prove with your action by committing yourself, going to church, giving offering to God. Those deeds is the one they refer as work. So it depends with what we are dealing with in that, according to different denomination and according to their teaching. Because one's claim is about believing, then you work toward that belief. Other is about helping the needy. So, but all of them is faith without work, because you are believing something that there is no evidence, and yet you don't work about that. You just believe you will get eternal life. So there is no work. The other thing come later, after believing or after you secure your eternity. Let's hear from Billy.
Okay, so I don't think that atheists or Christians have to have or have to lack faith. So I think we're assuming that all. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, but there is somehow bass and it's somehow echo.
Okay, I was saying I don't think that atheists necessarily have to lack faith or necessarily have to lack faith to be atheists, because there are atheists who believe in something.
Jim, we are getting some feedback from your end, Jim. Please mute.
Okay, so I was saying, I think we're assuming that atheists can lack faith, but they don't necessarily lack faith, because there are atheists who believe in some really weird things, like there are atheists who may believe in ghosts or premonitions or deja vus or whatever. So being an atheist does not like eliminate faith in your life. If people still believe in weird things despite being atheists, it only affects like one aspect of faith, which is believing in a supreme God or believing in a deity. Similarly, there are people who consider themselves Christian, but they're more cultural Christians, or maybe cultural religious, or culturally religious. So they don't really believe in the supernatural, but they still go to church and they only classify themselves as atheists. So I think it's also factor in that. So I think what Ndebe said about skeptics, that's why I would say that skeptics don't ascribe to the idea of faith. They also who believe that, or who ascribe to the idea that you have to have proof for you to believe it, for you to accept an idea. Those are those who I can say eliminate faith of the equation of their life. I'm done.
Yeah, that is good. So, but what I can say about the atheist is an idea that is misunderstood, because the terms atheist is rejection of a claim. So I don't want to go deeper to the philosophical ones because they define is a person who believe there is no God. But when I interrogate many people who term themselves as atheists, for me, I term myself as agnostic. But those atheists, when I interrogate them, I normally get the answer which is similar as agnostic, that they don't believe a claim from the religious, only that. So they are not certain that God does not exist. They are only certain of the things that have been presented. After they evaluate, they find they don't hold any water. So that is why they reject those claims. For example, if you say in my room, when I say in my room, I have 2 elephants, then you come and confirm my room is empty. So you end up saying there is no such elephant in my room. That is how those who term themselves as atheists, they claim the gods that have been presented, all those gods have been presented. After they have looked carefully, they find those they don't hold water, and they end up saying there is no such God. All the presented God, they don't exist. Unless and the God that is not yet presented, and they are waiting for that God to be presented so that they may be able to look for that to see whether it exists or does not exist. But all the gods that have been worshipped by the world today, or by the society today, they look at them and find they don't exist. And that is where the word atheist can come from. Even me, I'm atheist to all the gods that have been presented. But if there is any God that have not yet presented, I'm agnostic to that. Let's hear from Dorcas.
Okay. We're answering the other question on whether atheists exercise faith like believers.
Yes.
Okay. So no, atheists do not exercise faith like believers, and it is actually outrageous projection of the highest order to claim that atheists have more faith than believers when they believe that there is no God. Would you say that the person who does not believe in leprechauns has more faith than the one who makes the claim that leprechauns exist? Hell to the no. It's projection of the highest order. Now, I'd like to bring to your attention the issue of equivocation fallacy. What is an equivocation fallacy? It's also known as doublespeak. It's when you use an ambiguous term in more than one sense, thus making an argument misleading. Or it's a fallacy that depends on the double meaning of a word. For instance, when you say, for instance, they like to use this example that you atheists, you demonize faith, yet you use faith all the time. All humans use faith. You need faith to sit on that seat and to believe that the seat will hold your weight. Or you need faith in order to go to a restaurant and believe that their food is not poisoned, or you have faith in the brakes of your car when you need it to stop if you see an object that you might hit. You have faith in those things. But when they use faith in such contexts, they are committing an equivocation fallacy. Because in that context, we do have faith, yes, even if we are atheists, but it is not the kind of faith that is understood in religious contexts. The kind of faith they're talking about, faith in the seat, faith that the restaurant food is not poisoned, or faith that the brakes of the car will work when you need them to work. That kind of faith is based on evidence or good reasons, reason and evidence, because you've been using seats for many years and they have not collapsed under your weight, or you've been braking with different cars and you've seen other people using cars and the brakes work well for most cases. Of course, there are a few rare cases where they do not, but for most cases they work. So it is reasonable. That is the first definition of faith, which I talked about: great trust or confidence in something or someone. And in that particular context, it is based on evidence, on things that you have observed over time. So that is very reasonable and it is permissible. But the second definition of faith, which I said is a strong belief in God or religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof, that one excludes proof. Even the Hebrew 11:1 definition, it excludes proof, it excludes evidence. So that's the second definition that they mean. That's the second definition that believers rely on. Their faith is based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. It's not just great confidence or trust in something. So in that respect, they're switching the definitions. This word faith has two definitions. Actually, I said it has three, but if we narrow down that third one, we can fix it into the second one. So they're using the word faith in one context and switching it to the other. Okay, atheists, they exercise faith in the first definition: complete trust or confidence in something. I have faith in the Constitution. I have faith that my employer will pay me. That one, many atheists or any human can have it. But number two, complete, strong belief in God, religion, based on spiritual conviction. No, we don't have that. We don't have that conviction. We require evidence. And they shouldn't claim that you need more evidence in order to believe that there is no God. No, it is actually the evidence that is causing us not to believe in this God. If the evidence was present, then we would shut down that debate. Thank you.
Yeah, that is nice. We are concluding because of the time. Let's hear Jimmy.
Yeah, so for me, I'll just like to mention about what you said about atheists believing there is no God. For me, I think that is the wrong definition of atheism, because when I look at my dictionary, atheism is basically the lack of belief. So I usually have issues with people who claim that there is no God. I mean, there should be another word for them, not atheists, because this is basically a lack of belief. Claiming that there is no God it is as ridiculous as claiming there is a God. Because I mean, how would you know? We are just stuck on this tiny planet called Earth, and there are trillions of galaxies in the universe. And now you are claiming that there is no God even in all those other galaxies. I mean, claiming that it is very ridiculous. I mean, you just say you don't believe and that's it. But going a step further and saying that I believe there cannot be, there is no. I mean, how would you know? Yeah. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Okay, nice. So I think these terms, they just somehow they confuse. So, but in general, everyone who does not believe about God is because there is no evidence, as it was that. Do we have any other person who want to comment as we end our meeting? Eston? We have what Sondon. Yeah, David.
Yes, may I say the words belief, hope, and faith? They have definite differences, and those differences definitely can make a big difference. The definition, the meanings, and the definition of those words can make a big difference. But we tend to use those words as if they are interchangeable. But when it comes to faith, interchanging any of those three words can throw the meaning completely off the scale or off the chart of what we were talking about. That's what I find always about faith, belief, and hope. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, that is nice. So I think we have come to an end. Unless there is anyone who want to add something before we conclude. So we all agree that faith is not reliable, path to the truth. For us to come to the truth, we must investigate, to look for the evidence, and that evidence is the one that will lead us to the truth. So we go where evidence leads us, but not causing the evidence to point where we want. Don't control the evidence, but let the evidence control you. Maybe you want something to happen in a certain manner, but the evidence or the reality point to a different direction. You must accept that bitter truth. That is how we should be, all human beings should live. Don't force the evidence, but accept the evidence. Accept whatever the evidence is pointing to. So if evidence point to and then God or to and anything unicorn or whatever, we must accept that because we cannot deny evidence. Evidence is only the reliable to the truth. But faith is just as useless. For me, I thought to be a conman use the fools people because they don't investigate, they don't look whether that idea is possible. So they end up to be conned by the conman. But those who first of all look for the evidence, look whether they know this person, what is the achievement of that company, those people cannot be easily conned, like the one that they don't care about the evidence or about the investigation. The same case, religious, they just believe religion they are born in without doing any kind of investigation. But if they try to dig, they will end up rejecting those claims because they will realize that the book, they don't know the one who wrote it, they don't know those claims, whether they were genuine, whether they rely on the truth or they were relying on whatever they were hearing from others. So they will end up scrapping everything. But because they don't have that time to search, they end up under the hands of those conmen of the Bible or of the Quran or other religions. Dorcas, you can just give a remark as you end the meeting.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ex-Pastor Sano, for moderating that discussion with such objectivity and efficiency. Thank you for asking those thought-provoking questions and for guiding us through it. I'd also like to mention all the people that contributed to the discussion. Thank you, Morioki. Thank you, Jeve, El Maestro, Bill, And Jim, hey, it's been a minute. Jim has been lost. I think the last time I heard you speak in our meetings was when we were having the democracy conversation back late last year. So it's been a while. It's glad to have you back, and I hope you can continue joining us in subsequent meetings. Please remember to follow us on YouTube. We are Atheists Hangout 2. We had a successful video shoot. We will upload the first video probably after a week. Like it takes 2 weeks for the videographer to edit everything. So that will be the first video. I don't know if we'll break it into 2 or we'll just have 1 for part A. It depends, but remember to remember to look back at the previous ones that we discussed. The latest one was women in religion versus atheism. Please share, comment, and let's get our page active. Yes, let's meet next time. I wish you guys a lovely night, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you are in the world. Bye.
Hi, thank you. Don't be scammed by anybody with a dinosaur egg in their house. That's why religious people are so easy to scam.